oligarch. It's a word that's usually thrown around in reference to Russia.
New sanctions on Russian oligarchs.
A Russian oligarch.
Russian oligarch.
Russian mobsters and corrupt oligarchs.
So what is an oligarchy? It's defined as a government in which a small group exercises control, especially for corrupt and selfish purposes. But is it possible this label could apply to the US? Well, according to a study carried out by Princeton and Northwestern universities, it just might. After analyzing nearly 1,800 US government policies enacted from 1981 to 2002 and testing them against US public opinion, the study concluded that economic elites and business interests have substantial independent impacts on US government policy, while average citizens have little or no independent influence. In other words, a handful of rich people in the US are shaping government policies to make themselves richer and the rest of us poorer. That helps explain why 70% of Americans support Medicare for all, yet our elected officials refuse to make that a reality, instead serving the interests of health insurance and pharmaceutical executives who fund their campaigns. It helps explain why over 60% of Americans support stricter gun laws, but Congress won't enact them because they're owned by the gun industry. It helps explain why a majority of Americans support raising the federal minimum wage, but that isn't reflected in Congress either. It helps explain why just 3 men, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, and Warren Buffett, own as much wealth as the bottom half of the US population. The authors say the study might even be underestimating the power of economic elites. So, why is it that these politically connected American billionaires and corporate executives who essentially run the country aren't referred to as American oligarchs in news coverage like their Russian counterparts? Well, probably because they own the corporate news media, guaranteeing that Americans remain ignorant about the powerful economic forces shaping their lives. What does it say about American democracy when a handful of rich people have all the say, using their money and influence to control elections and the legislative process in Congress and the media? Maybe America isn't so much of a democracy after all.